For decades, propaganda has been used to manipulate, inspire, and recruit large numbers of people for a cause, from Lenin and his Bolshevik militants to the United States and Germany during World War II, and even the North Koreans during the Korean War. Propaganda helped to rally people for a cause through the use of posters. However, social media has recently given rise to a new form of propaganda that is exploited heavily by Islamic extremists. The following disturbing clip provides insight into how Islamic extremism exploits video technology to create propaganda.
This is our Khilafah in all its glory. We are men honored with Islam who climbed its peaks to perform jihad, answering the call to unite under one flag. This is the source of our glory, our obedience to our Lord. We are uncompromising in our call to Tawheed. We only bow to Allah, unlike the countless deviant factions raising their false banners and changing with the winds of Jahili politics.
Through the use of social media, ISIS recruited over 53,000 people from 80 countries between 2013 and 2019, according to the International Center for Counterterrorism, 300 of whom were Americans. But what does ISIS use specifically in order to recruit such a large number of people from around the world?
I think, what we saw ISIS use from the beginning to spread propaganda was the platforms that were most effective at the time. When ISIS grew out of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, Facebook was the prevalent social media platform across Europe and the US and parts of South Asia.
By using social media platforms such as Facebook, ISIS managed to recruit men, women, and children from around the world through propaganda spread online. An article from Brookings.edu argues that in order to prevent terrorist organizations from spreading their dogma so easily, the terms of service need to be more heavily enforced. But just how and why are people convinced to join ISIS through social media?
ISIS and other extremist groups have very relatable philosophies that they can put in a very succinct package and sell to disaffected youth. When you peel it back and you understand what the philosophy is, it's really not that appealing. ISIS targets a specific age demographic. They are looking for folks within the teenage years up to the late 20s and early 30s. That's really as broad, that's as narrow a demographic targeting as they are trying to do.
By providing teenagers and young adults with a sense of belonging and a community to be a part of, ISIS effectively guaranteed loyalty. All of this was achievable through their exploitation of social media and video-making technology.
He's ISIS's best-known killer, presiding over the beheadings of Americans James Foley and other Western hostages. He may have killed some himself, and with each video, he's trash-talked his enemies.
Obama, you have started your aerial bombardment in Sham, which keeps on striking our people. So it's only right we continue to strike the necks of your people.
Tonight, a new and bizarre account of the cruelty handed.
ISIS doesn't just stop at recruiting people within a certain age demographic. Instead, ISIS further seeks to exploit those who are sadistic in nature, as well as those who enjoy watching violence online. A journal article titled #DarkInspiration, Eudemonic Entertainment and Extremist Instagram Post examines how people get the same feeling of suspense, pleasure, or fun from violent extremist Instagram posts the same way a normal person derives those same feelings from a normal Instagram post. ISIS then began creating propaganda geared towards the recruitment of those with sadistic tendencies, while also scaring anyone who opposed ISIS by posting and broadcasting execution videos on social media. Men such as Jihadi John were featured heavily in these execution videos since he was a British national who left England to join ISIS and in 2014 gained an infamous reputation for the beheading of journalist James Foley. According to a journal article titled Studying the Impact of ISIS Propaganda Campaigns, ISIS employs heavily violent propaganda videos in order to weed out and recruit their most zealous followers, even if it means the alienation of more moderate followers. ISIS have proven that they are masters at recruitment via propaganda and social media. So how can we prevent ourselves from being manipulated by extremist propaganda?
One of the things that helps to combat extremist propaganda is to use multiple sources, right? To listen to read, to view videos, to however you consume your news about the world, that you use multiple sources to gather that information. And importantly about those sources are sources that have editorial control. It's very easy in the internet, and even before the internet, to have your opinion, and if nobody is there to check your opinion, then you don't have to necessarily have to build your case on fact.
ISIS relies heavily on the recruitment of weak-minded individuals and those who do not seek out other sources of information. They have managed to recruit 53,000 people from over 80 countries through social media. They recruit men, women, and children from every continent, every race, and almost every age. They target and exploit individuals such as Jihadi John, who are disaffected and sadistic. But by searching for other sources, not believing everything seen online, and venturing outside of your own echo chamber of information, you can prevent yourself from being manipulated by these extremist groups.